Hi, Tim Blankenship here with Divorce661.com, and today we're talking more about how to continue with a divorce case in California that you haven't finalized for several years. So back in July of 2015, I wrote an article about seeing if your divorce case is still pending, and we get lots of people that have not completed their divorce for several months and sometimes even several years. I think the longest or oldest case we ever handled was 20 years old, and it happens for many reasons. People think their divorce was finalized or turned in their paperwork and it wasn't approved, but they never got the paperwork back, so thought everything was fine. So however you come across learning that your case was never finalized, the first thing you want to do is to see if your case is still pending with the court. And you would do that by getting the case number and then looking up online. Most counties in California have a court website where you can see if your case is pending or not. And that's generally what I do with every, if I get a call like I just had, and I'm talking specifically about a client we took on last week. She called and said, "Hey Tim, I started my divorce case. I think it was 10 or 12 years ago. We thought it was done. We're both remarried, which happens quite a bit, but we just found out the divorce case is not final." So I ran the case number, and it turned out that the case was still active. And it also turned out that she had gone down to the courthouse prior to calling us to see what was going on when she realized it was not finalized. And the self-help center, the folks there, the attorney there, told her that because the case was over 5 years old, that she had to, and there was no other options, that she had to dismiss the case, and gave her the forms to dismiss the case. Now, in this particular case, the petitioner had filed, the respondent had filed a response, so everything had been done right. They just hadn't finalized the paperwork. And the self-help centers, the information they provided to her was, you have to cancel your case and start over. And that is just absolutely wrong. From a procedural standpoint, I can tell you that is absolutely wrong. So a couple things here. Number one, yes, there is a 5-year statutory limitation on how long you can prosecute the case. But I have completed cases that are old as 20 years old. So the court has to file their own motion, essentially, to dismiss the case. So they can do it. They can dismiss the case over 5 years, but it's not automatic. It's not like, 5 years and a day and your case falls off the edge of the earth and you no longer can find it. That's not what happens. Cases go on and on and on through litigation, and they go beyond the 5 years. So what I told this lady who called, I said, first of all, the court's wrong. You do not have to dismiss it. Number two, they are right in that it's only for 5 years, but there's a workaround for that. The workaround is to file what's called a stipulation to continue prosecuting the case. It's something that both the petitioner and respondent will sign, and if approved by the court, and I've never had one that's not approved, it allows the case to continue on. Now, I don't know why the self-help center would tell this person to do this. Only thing I can think of is that they are misinformed. Generally speaking, the folks at the self-help center have been there maybe 10 minutes longer than you. It's a lot of volunteers and so forth. And maybe they knew, it's over 5 years, and the thing in their brain clicked, said, you can't do this. And that's not true. So we took on her case. We are going to wrap her up. We are prepared for the court to try and dismiss the case. But like I said, if they do file a motion for dismissal, we're just going to turn around and put in a stipulation that the parties agree to continue the case beyond 5 years. Easy. The alternative, spending $435 per person to refile the case again. And this was 10 or 12 years old, if I recall, and they probably only spent $100 or $200 at the time. But now being 2016, it's $435. So, $870 to take the court's recommendation to dismiss a case and refile, or call Tim at Divorce 661 and hire us, and we'll take care of it and finalize it, and it's a non-issue. So just beware of the information. I mean, sadly, a lot of bad information comes out of the courts, and we have to deal with that every day, but there are workarounds. So call us. If you have a pending case, if you're trying to finalize your case, give us a call. Let me take a look at your case online and see what you got going on. And 99.9% chance we can continue on with your case if it has not been dismissed, and get you wrapped up with no additional court fees. Tim Blankenship, Divorce661.com. Thanks for listening and watching, and we'll talk to you soon.